Right, let's make a start. So, hello and welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the latest Babcock Safeguarding Team podcast. Today we've decided to slightly mix it up and I have some guests with me today. So I'm really pleased to welcome Beth and Claire from the Reach team. Thank you so much for joining me today, ladies.
That's all right. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you this morning, Caroline.
Thank you for having us.
So I think it'd be really helpful for us to start with, so what is Reach? So who are Reach and what do you actually do?
So Reach stands for Reducing Exploitation and Absence from Care or Home. So basically, in a shorter version, we are the missing and exploitation team in Devon. And we work with all young people that are reported as missing to the police. And if anybody has any concerns around young people who are at risk of exploitation, they can be referred into our team and we work with them too. So we work across the whole of Devon, excluding Torbay and Plymouth. We are split into 4 areas, Exeter, South, Mid and East and North. And you will find a couple of Reach practitioners in each area.
Great, lovely, thank you. So how does Reach support schools in their role when they're supporting children who are at risk of exploitation?
So what we sort of like aim to do really with schools is be like a port of call for them to contact if they are concerned about a young person that is potentially at risk of exploitation. Or young people that are going missing. We do have a lot of contact with safeguarding leads in school when a young person has been reported missing. And we quite often go to them to listen to what they're concerned about. And if the school have any concerns that sort of like don't come up within the kind of return to home conversations that we do with the young person, we will follow that up with the school and also the young person and the parents. So, you know, there might be a young person that is, you know, going missing quite a lot, but we're not identifying any exploitation concerns through the return to home interview. But school are concerned, say, about a peer group that they're associating with out of school. And then what we normally would do with the school is support them in completing a Safe for Me assessment, or we could go in and do the Safe for Me alongside the school. Or we might do the Safe for Me ourselves if we feel we've got enough information to complete that.
Fab. So that's the Safe for Me assessment, which is part of the adolescent safety framework for Devon.
Yeah,
great.
That's right.
Perfect. So in terms of how schools make a referral to Reach, so the best thing really is if they contact you and then you support them through that process. So would that come under the Safe for Me assessment rather than a direct referral to yourselves?
Yeah, it's really tricky at the minute, like the referral process, because it does change really on each individual sort of like case, I would say. Would you agree with that, Beth?
Yeah.
There might be some young people that obviously there are concerns about, but you know, quite low level concerns, in which case we do sort of sometimes try and encourage somebody within the school to do that who's already got a relationship with that young person. But if the concerns are really high, we normally advise the school to make a referral into the MACE, which is where everyone will discuss and we will come up with an action plan from the MACE around what would be the best support for that young person or who would be the best person to support.
Brilliant. So that leads me on nicely to, so what actually is the MACE? So what's the MACE stand for and what do they do?
So the MACE is a multi-agency meeting that happens every 4 weeks, and there is one in each area. So there's one in the South, one in Mid and East and Exeter, and one in North. And this is where all young people who have been reported as missing that month get discussed, and they're and young people who we have concerns around exploitation can be discussed as well. We also discuss locations of concerns and people of concern as well. So this is, like I said, a multi-agency meeting. There is a number of different agencies that sit around that table, or it is now on Teams, but they sit around that. And the idea is young people are submitted, locations are submitted, and people are submitted. And the idea is those other agencies do all their research on those young people, locations, and people of concerns, and they bring that information to the meeting. So it is a really good meeting because, you know, us as Reach might submit someone with a small part of information, and we might be missing other bits of information, but someone from Yacht or from YSmart or from social care can come and bring their bit of information, and all of a sudden it all starts to make sense because everyone's got little bits of information that are all coming together, and you can start to see the bigger picture of what's going on for young people.
Great. Lovely. So when would schools make a referral to MACE, and then how would they also make that referral?
I would say that if schools have any concerns about a young person, a location, or a person of concern, I would say that they really should be looking at the Safe For Me assessment to gauge the level of risk, because it does look like a really scary form. I'm not going to lie. It's quite a big, chunky form. But once you filled a couple out and you know what information you want to put on there, it does really sort of like flow. And you might get like partway through it and think, oh, actually, do you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it was. Or you might get partway through it and think, actually, I can add other people to this, because there is a bit in the form as well, which you can include peers of young people. And if we have like a peer group of young people, we can then sort of like start mapping, and that might build a really big picture of what's going on, you know, in a community, or from, you know, in the city centre, or even just like in a skate park. There might be a big group of young people that we don't know are connected until a school might submit one young person, and then we might see their names on that young person's Safe For Me and be like, well, they were missing last week, or they were missing 2 weeks ago. And then we sort of like can network, and then you can build a peer group conference, which you can also submit as part of a Safe For Me.
Okay, great. Lovely. So the bottom line is check out that Safe For Me form and work out from there. And there are people who can support if schools are having to fill those in for the first time, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, all schools are always more than welcome to contact like Reach practitioners in their area. And we can sort of like, you know, give guidance around the Safe For Me assessment and just the ASF process in, you know, in general. If they're a little bit like, we don't really know what to do, we're more than happy to be contacted.
Brilliant. And how would schools find your contact details? If they Google it, is it a Devon website? Or I think it's a Devon website. What I'll do is I'll find out your contact details as well, and I can add that to our Babcock website for.
Yeah, we've got a contact list for all the Reach practitioners across Devon and in the local areas. So if we share that, and then that can be added.
Yeah, perfect. Brilliant, lovely. Thank you. So so what other support is available for schools? So if schools are working with children who they know are being exploited, who they feel are at risk of being exploited, what other avenues and support is out there for them?
We from us or from other people? From
other people. Do you know? Obviously, you provide a really fantastic support. That sort of Safe For Me assessment is really great. So, do you know of any other sort of places that they could go to get that additional support? If we're thinking of that lower level support, maybe in school, are you aware of anywhere that they could go? I know of PACE. PACE, I think, is a good one that they could go to for resources. Are you aware of anywhere else that they could go? Any top tips?
CEOP's really good. If they've got concerns around child exploitation online, that's a really good resource. They've got, I think they still do training and things, but they have all their sessions that are available. they're really good. Just one thing to mention from us as well is that we offer a consultation pack as well. So if any schools have any concerns around young people and they've got the capacity to deliver that work within that school, you could always come to us and we could go through the consultation pack with you. And our consultation pack covers kind of 5 different topics, and it's kind of set out really easy so anyone can pick it up and follow it basically. So it's kind of got all your aims and objectives, it's got all your resources that you need, it's got everything you need to print out, cut up, it's got everything there so anyone can pick it up and do it. So if you're wanting to do some stuff in-house, please contact us and we can send you over that consultation pack as well.
That sounds really great. So what age group is that consultation pack aimed for? Is that just secondary setting, or is that sort of your older primary as well?
I would say you could adapt it to some year sixes. I guess it depends on their kind of level of understanding, because what you don't want to do is scare young people with stuff that might be in the consultation pack. But, you know, as professionals, we can adapt things quite easily, which people in school would be able to do. I was just thinking the DCFP website is another really good place to go and look. You know, there's loads of early help stuff on there. There's loads of stuff about like what Devon do. You know, Why Smart Yacht. We work closely with all of those sort of like services as well. So, you know, if it's drug related and you know, criminal activity and stuff like that, they're really good services to contact as well.
Perfect. Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today and explaining a little bit more about Reach and the MACE as well. It's been really useful and really helpful. So thank you very much for all your time. Thanks for talking to us about all the great things that you're doing. And hopefully schools, as we share your contact details with schools, they've got another group of people they can talk to if they have got those exploitation concerns about their pupils. So thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.